Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. There's so much to do at the Ann Arbor District Library. The possibilities seem endless. The institution provides the public with some of the latest technologies, but they also allow you to explore our history. Technology has evolved to make the letterpress obsolete, but library patrons are bringing its artistry back to life.
This is Letterpress Lab in the secret lab in the basement of the Ann Arbor District Library downtown. It's every week, every Wednesday, and it's fun and addicting, and I've been doing it for a couple of years now.
Letterpress is a form of printmaking that deals explicitly with handset type and uses antique printing presses that you might have seen historically used to print books, newspapers, flyers, etc.
I am making some linoleum block prints that I carved based on some geometric abstract kind of winter tree ideas. I've done a whole bunch of lino cut illustration with poetry, setting metal type from our collection. I even published a chapbook here. I finished it a couple months ago after working on it for a year. It was all done here.
You put it together backwards, so you want it to be a mirror image of how you actually want it to look. You put it on the press, you ink it, you place your paper, adjust the pressure, and once you roll cylinder press over it, you're able to pull that first print and just experience the surprise of what's there.
So much fun. It's incredibly creative. There are people here who make beautiful pieces of art just out of type, and it's just fun to see.
Every time you touch a piece of type, you are experiencing and interacting with the history of that piece of type and everyone who has used it to put a word together before. And I think that you're celebrating what people have decided is no longer useful and realizing that that is not the case and that there is joy in what we would normally have decided to throw away.
Visit the Ann Arbor District Library's downtown branch every Wednesday from 6 to 8:30 p.m. to learn the ways of the letterpress. Stay tuned, and we'll be back shortly with more news and information. There have been numerous recorded cases of the flu hitting Michigan, but technically flu season has just begun, and there are plenty of ways to keep you and your family protected from the virus. There are many different strains of the flu, but researchers work tirelessly every year on a vaccine to keep the population healthy.
The vaccine will protect against 4 different strains. It's usually around 40 to 60% effective across all age ranges. And what that means is that you can still get the flu after getting the flu shot. One easy way to do that is if you're exposed to the flu around the same time that you got a flu shot. It takes all vaccines about 2 weeks to work in the body.
Other than being vaccinated, there are some simple tips to keep germs at bay.
One of the newer things that little kids are learning is this superhero cough, but it's like taking your cape and going across and coughing or sneezing into your arm. So washing your hands isn't like putting them under water and then wiping them off on a towel. It's using soap and water and making sure you get all the surfaces, and you're supposed to sing like happy birthday. Follow the treatment advice of your physician. Take the medication you're supposed to, or stay home, hydrate, keep your family safe.
The influenza vaccine is available at the Washtenaw County Health Department and pharmacies throughout Michigan. Our snow accumulation for the 2019-2020 winter has been low, but when the white flakes do start to cover our streets and sidewalks, there's some need-to-know info for residents and business owners. Learn more about snow removal guidelines in this month's City Roundup in 60.
Hello, my name is Robert Keller with the City of Ann Arbor. Winter means snow and ice, and that makes it hard for people to get around the city, especially pedestrians. So as a resident and business, you need to do your part and help clear your sidewalks of ice and snow. What does that mean? Well, for residents, it means any snow accumulation greater than 1 inch has to be cleared within 24 hours. If you're a business, any snow accumulation by 6 a.m. needs to be cleared by noon the same day. So help do your part, clear your adjacent sidewalks, crosswalk ramps, and any concrete bus stops that may be adjacent to your property, and help make it easier for people to get around the great city of Ann Arbor.
There are many ways to travel around Ann Arbor: cars, scooters, bikes, and let's not forget the ever-popular pedicab. Buber Tours is taking the downtown by storm as they offer one-of-a-kind rides to the destination of your choice. And at the same time, they're bringing employment opportunities to those that need it most. Joining me is Kevin Spangler, owner of Buber Tours. Welcome to the show, Kevin.
Thank you for having me.
Before the show, you were telling me a little bit about your story. If you could sort of condense it a little bit and tell us about your story and what led you to creating Buber Tours.
Okay, so I was homeless 4 years ago, living in the homeless shelter when I started Buber Tours.
In Ann Arbor.
In Ann Arbor.
Yep.
But before that, I was in and out of jail, addicted to drugs and alcohol. And I got my 5th DUI and 3rd resisting arrest. And that's when I found out I was having a son. And that's when I made a commitment to never get in trouble again so I could be a positive role model to my son. I was looking at 8 years in prison, and the judge ended up giving me 6 months no probation. So they were so lenient on my sentence, I also made a commitment to help as many people as I possibly can. So I got out of jail with a new determination, saved up all my money working 4 jobs to get my first pedicab, and now we have 21 pedicabs. And the whole premise of the business is to create second chance jobs for people in recovery. And also, since the judge and the system was so lenient on me, I'm also put a book together called Rising Out of Depression and Going Up the Royal Road. It's a self-help book of all the programs that I've created and how I got my life back on track and how I teach other people how to get their lives back on track.
I mean, talking to you, it's amazing to hear how your life has evolved in a 4-year period, which is a short period of time, and your business has grown exponentially in 4 years, which is something you should be very proud of. Because you sort of take the business model of the ground cover news.
Correct.
Can you explain how that works?
So one of the 4 jobs that I had to save up to get my first pedicab was working for ground cover. Mm-hmm. And they have it set up where you go work and you work on donations to buy more papers. And their model is to help people get back on their feet. And mine kind of was, I just like, that's a perfect model, so I kind of use it for my model as well, because you get paid every day instead of having to wait 2 to 3 weeks sometimes to get your first paycheck. So it works out perfect if you're getting out of jail, getting out of rehab, or just need a fresh start.
And we all know that a lot of times when you've been in and out of jail that it is very hard to find a job after the fact. So you are more than open to hire these people as soon as they get out.
Yes. And that's when they start to work the program that
yeah, so they have to be showing some sort of life change too.
Yes.
Which is all part of your sort of self-help image that is,
correct.
You're not just helping people make money, because everybody needs to make money, obviously, but you're helping them rise above their circumstances.
Well, I want them to set goals, want them to know where they're going, because if you don't have any goals that you're working towards, you're not going anywhere. And I feel like even everyone who gets in my cab, I'm asking them where do they want to go, what are their vision, what are they focused on, because that's where all have these superpowers of creating reality. And if you're not having something that you're focused on, you're letting reality create you. Mm-hmm. So that's what I try to teach people, to be focused. What is it? Start thinking about it. And you have to constantly be thinking of where you want to go to create the reality that you want to live in.
Mm-hmm. So why did you choose pedicabs?
Over the years, I've seen them in Ann Arbor, and I was like, I always wanted to do it, but the amount of money that it costs to get a pedicab is more expensive than you think, mm-hmm. and they aren't cheap. So it took me a few months just to save up to, and not spending any money just to get my first pedicab.
And so were you just operating with one for a while then?
For about a month and a half.
Yeah, and then you were able to make enough money to get your
just
second
kept
one.
on investing over and over again.
And you use advertisements as well to pay for them? Or?
Over a period of time, After I got my first 4, then that's when I started going to get my first advertisers, and my first advertisers, I got 4, and then they decided they didn't want to do it, and then I was like, okay, I continue to work. So I got Bloom City Club was the first advertiser, and then Brown Jug was actually the first, and then within that time they decided that they wanted to do advertising as well. So I took out a small loan just to get another 2 more pedicabs to satisfy the 8 pedicab advertising spots that I had sold.
That's a great place to
So
be,
that's
though.
like, it just kept on expanding and quickly.
What's in the name? Why Boober?
Well, it means best boyfriend in the world. If you look urban slang,
Okay.
to go the extra mile to take care of his girlfriend. It's kind of a nickname.
From.
And then
okay.
Buber Fraggle from the 1980 puppet show,
Okay.
a Jim Henson puppet show.
Yep.
The first cab is Seafoam Green, and that's the same color as Buber Fraggle.
Oh, nice.
So,
Nice.
and then it's a fun. It just has a ring to it.
Oh, it totally does.
So
yeah.
it's funny.
Yeah.
It gets people thinking. If you have something unique, it gets people, their minds going.
So most of the time you see you're a downtown area, so you probably get a lot of college students but why should everyone sort of hop on a Buber tour?
Everyone
Yeah.
from 90 years old. I have people. The University of Michigan hires us for reverse transportation because they can't get vehicles into some of their places.
Oh, okay.
So we had someone that was over 100 years old. By the William Clements Library hired us for some of their retirement parties and their alumni parties, so they're always bringing us in for reverse transportation.
Nice. So for someone like me who's never been on a pedicab, why should I go check it out? What makes it exciting? A different way to travel?
Well, it's just an open air transportation, quick way to get around town. You don't have to call or wait for an Uber. We're just right around, driving around, so it's kind of like you see us, you want to have fun, hop on, we'll take you across the street. But you might be late to work and you might need a ride because you have to parking is sometimes hard to get in Ann Arbor, so we're able to be there for people. It's almost like I pray every morning to align myself with the people who need me the most. People are maybe injured. Mm-hmm. So then we try to give as many free rides as possible, just so if people, just the entry, like they think that it might cost a lot of money if they've been in a big city, because bigger cities, they charge.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
We just have a donation model, so because we want everyone to be able to ride. Mm-hmm. And I think it's been successful because if you have more riders, then you have more people that are going to be giving you money instead of people might be scared that it costs a lot, and then they spread that, oh, it costs too much to get on that, we're not going to do it. And they didn't realize that they missed out on so much fun.
It's really whatever you can afford.
Yeah, whatever you think the ride's worth.
And you guys also do events. You do weddings and stuff like
Weddings.
that too. Yeah, that's pretty
So
exciting.
in the spring and fall.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we go? Why people should check them out, or anything that you've been up to that we haven't mentioned?
Yeah, if you see us in town, we're working on donations, and a lot of the people, 70% of the people work for us are getting back on their feet, and the other 30% are teachers or people who just want to get some exercise and have fun and make a little extra money for whatever they're trying to do.
All right. Well, thank you, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/CTN. Visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to see all that we have to offer, and remember to like, comment, and share. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.